Hey guys, this is Adam and Anna. We are actually doing something
Hello.
for the other channel now. For you guys who have looked at it and stuff, we have a channel called Adam and Anna where we do comedy sketches and stuff like that, pretty much on a weekly basis. So check out that if you want to watch some funny stuff. Although this will be funny too, I think. Oh God, will it be? But we for this other channel, we had this other channel because initially when I set up, I had to set up a channel for something to share a fundraiser or something. And we initially did a Birds of Prey review on here several months ago, and the intention was to do more movie reviews and stuff like that. But then, pandemic happened and things got sidetracked. Regardless, my hands are really big on camera.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna do several things with the channel. That's why it's called Cornucopia Productions. Is that we'll be doing, maybe some vlogs. We might do some, podcasty type things. But also we'll do movie reviews. We'll do a wine and tea tasting things sometime too, where we'll try different wines and teas and rate them and stuff like that. But today we're going to do something fun, and this might become something with movies too, where we try to find the good in very badly reviewed movies or just universally bad movies, whatever the case. So I have an HBO Max account now. We got it with Wonder Woman 84, and the most recent version of Black Christmas was on there. And so I said, you know what, that would be a good way to start and watch this horrible movie and see just how truly terrible it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so just for a little history, number one, this will be spoilers. So if you're really dying to see it, and I'm sure you were, we're just going to fucking spoil the whole movie for you because, well, the trailer already did anyway. The original Black Christmas was made back in the 70s, and it was actually very much a precursor to Halloween, and was actually really well done. And like you never ever see the killer.
Yeah, it's kind of like sort of a precursor to the modern slasher film.
Absolutely, yeah.
The original.
Well, John Carpenter was very influenced by it with and had the kind of the way where you see the killer's point of view and things like that. And like I said, you never ever actually see the killer.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough,
it's a mystery.
Yeah, the funny thing is that the same guy who did that did A Christmas Story, so it's just kind of funny, the dynamic of that. Well, back in 2006, they remade it. Had some name value, Katie Cassidy, got Michelle Trachtenberg, a couple other,
And it's I mean, it's not good.
Not good.
But it's very much in that sort of line.
It's in that same line. It's very Christmassy.
Well, no, like it's in the line of like those like schlocky 2000s slasher
Remakey,
films that were around in that decade.
Right.
It's not particularly good.
It's
but
not great.
It still
it
feels
made the
like
mistake
a
of
horror movie.
actually showing the killer, and then they tied in the Agnes thing and all that stuff. Which, but it at least had some creepy moments, and at least you could say like, well, it wasn't great, but it wasn't unwatchable. This movie, on the other hand, holy shit!
Oh wow!
We were 4 minutes in where we're all just like, oh boy, this is gonna be one of those movies.
This is gonna suck.
So,
like just on a base surface level, as a horror movie, it fails.
Yeah, it's not.
There are no scares. Zero.
Yeah.
Zero scares.
A few jump scares here and there. That's
not even. Not even. Like, oh my God. Like, it tries.
It tries. Yeah.
But
I didn't say it was scary. I'm just saying they had a few moments that were jump
yeah, but it's like
but
there's no scares.
Yeah.
There are no scares. The camera cuts away at like the most crucial points of a scare of a horror movie. It's like, so as a horror film fan, it's frustrating and slightly offensive to watch.
Right.
And then that brings us into like the reason this was actually
especially
made.
if you've seen the original Black Christmas, or even if you've seen the 2006 one, and you're going into like, oh man, I really liked Black Christmas. I'm interested to see what they do. Maybe they'll do something unique with it and interesting with it. Forget about that. I don't think there was even a Billy character in there. As far as I know, there wasn't. So basically, if you really didn't like anything like Charlie's Angels or Terminator Dark Fate or Ghostbusters 2016 and thought they hammered in what Hollywood calls feminism these days, you have not seeing anything. All those movies pale in comparison to this film because they drive it down your fucking throat.
It's not okay. It's straight up misandry, and it's not only misandry. It's badly written misandry.
Right.
It is. Oh my god! Like I think I complained about the writing in Birds of Prey and the lack of nuance in that film.
Yeah. Pales in comparison.
This makes Birds of Prey look like Citizen Kane. This is horribly, horrifically written in terms of getting its themes across.
Right.
Like, its idea of getting its themes across is like, we're going to paint it on a giant neon sign and hold it up to you because no other way will you fools ever understand what's going on. Like, it is...
Well,
it is the opposite of subtle. It is like...
It's...
Oh my god.
Now, a lot of times, if you ever watch Friday the 13th movies or even more recent slasher films, a lot of times characters, they literally are purposely made unlikable, and just because they're going to get fucking killed off by the monster, or the slasher killer or whatever the case. This does that, but doesn't really do its job because they have so many unlikable characters in here that, the main girl was okay, but she also was really dumb at moments too.
Yeah.
And then she just fully went stupid at the end. But like, there's so many unlikable characters, and you're literally just like, can they just die?
Right.
I'd like them to die.
Please die.
And it basically is a man versus woman movie. But it's on such ridiculous levels. They try to tie in this weird supernatural thing to like this statue, but like the statue had been removed because the one girl had said, "Well, this guy was a racist and had slaves,"
they petitioned it,
and so. But then the fraternity found that it had powers and for men to be true men and strong men and make sure they're spreading that patriarchy.
Yeah, so basically, the statue unlocks male toxicity, essentially, which apparently is inherent and ingrained in every single man.
Every single man.
No matter which character.
Right, and because the one girl in the thing has a boyfriend, getting along great through 30 minutes of the movie, not
like
fighting. He hangs out, he drives the girls places, and then out of the blue, he's drinking a beer, and his girlfriend's like, "You never drink beer." What? He's like, "I like beer," which I'm like, that was a subtle reference to the Supreme Court justice who said that in his thing. But then all of a sudden he just gets all angry at them because, anyway, I just get to flow back for a minute. The main character was apparently raped by one of these fraternity guys, but then no one believed her. So there's this whole thing. So then they're doing this song at the thing, and then they basically call his ass out in front of everybody. And then so when he blows up or whatever, he's just like, "Oh, well, what do you expect, And then they have a point where he's like, "You just lump me in with all these other men," and then the one girl's like, "You just said that all men think." And I'm like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Yeah, nobody's a winner. Nobody is a winner in this scene, and then we find out that the reason he's suddenly behaving this way is because the fraternity's magic has unlocked his male toxicity, and that's why he's behaving this way.
Wow.
It is amazing how many genders wind up getting insulted in this feminist movie.
Yeah, and it's just so who is this for? Because nobody, even the people that may talk like some of these characters, which if you do talk like these characters, I feel sorry for you. Please get help. But
yes, no, seriously.
But even those people who the keyboard warriors, as we call them sometimes, these people don't go and watch this movie. They're not watching this movie. It's just like people who write these type of over the top characters in comics or a movie, and it's those people aren't actually watching your films or reading your stuff. They're not actually. Who is this for?
Yeah.
Because it's not for a main audience.
Yeah.
Because if someone was a Black Christmas fan and they're like, well, okay, I'm not really big on remakes, but you know, especially when it comes to horror remakes, a lot of times there's at least a curiosity. Like,
Yes,
oh, let's see what they do.
yeah.
Maybe they can improve upon something, or they'll have something to say.
Yeah,
you know.
I would like to point out at this point, in case no one has realized, this is Black Christmas in name only.
Yeah. Oh god.
It
reminded me more of with the whole fraternity thing. There's a movie with Joshua Jackson and Craig T. Nelson. I forget.
Also from the 2000s.
Yeah,
Hang on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but it had very much that kind of dark, almost cultish type of thing going on. So it's just like, why didn't you just remake that movie instead and make it better? I don't know. But it just, it hurt to watch this movie. It's just like, I'm like, man, could I have my time back now? But like I said, can you find any positives at all? If we say, what's good about this movie? I will say 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a nice cat in it, and the cat doesn't get killed.
Oh,
or at least you never see the cat get killed. So that's a plus on my file. Hey, the cat didn't get killed. Yay. Number 2, it does have Cary Elwes in it, and he hams it up pretty decently. I'm sure.
You can tell he's hating his life.
Yeah, it's like, I'm collecting that paycheck. But like, man, I get that sometimes you have to take roles, and especially if you're starting out, you have to take roles in movies. But like, with recent stuff with, John Boyega calling out Star Wars and Ray Fisher calling out the treatment of Justice League and all that, it's just like, can people who are in bad movies like this call out the bullshit that this movie is? Like, the writing is fucking terrible. It's insulting to men. It's insulting to women. It's insulting to people who are non-binary. It's insulting to everyone. It's insulting to human beings to have to watch this shit.
Yeah, and the fact that it is trying to dress itself up as woman empowering.
Yeah,
is just real. It's just really offensive.
And it's just so like. And that's exactly also why I have Anna on this thing, because the last thing I wanted to do was come on and be like, oh, well, it's just some straight white male, cisgender. He must hate women, must be a misogynist, or must be a racist, or anything else, whatever.
Was it Cursed?
No, hold on.
Okay.
It's a werewolf film. It's something let me see that phone real quick. Cursed.
The Shadow Dancer?
No. Hold on. Let me just go up the list here. The Skulls.
The Skulls.
That's
the Skulls. Yes, that's the Joshua Jackson movie.
But but that's kind of this reminded me more of that than it did a Black Christmas movie, because Christmas was barely even a part of it either. I mean, they have Christmas tree lights at one point. They buy a Christmas tree. That's about it.
Yeah,
there's nothing in it.
The cover is that these girls are going home for Christmas. They're not getting murdered, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, and it's like I tell her. I said there were only 2 things in there that I was like, yeah, that's believable. Number 1 would be that a fraternity brother would cover for his rapist brother, because unfortunately they would. And second, that campus police would also cover it up and not do shit, which they also don't. Because there's been tons of cover-ups about that stuff, for some football player, athlete that raped some girl and they just cover it up,
Yeah.
Or don't report it to the actual police.
Okay.
That part was true.
Yeah, I'll say for the things that the cat was adorable.
Yeah.
I will say for the things that this movie did well. Well is a stretch. But things that I kind of wish had been more the focus of the movie is that, and trigger warning, the main character Riley is a rape survivor, and her trauma figures fairly heavily into her decision making for most of the film,
right?
Which I liked. I felt that was very believable. I wich that had been more the trajectory that the film had gone in.
Yeah,
sorry. And it's okay. The downside of that was the fact, the character, her sorority sister Chris, is like the most. She is the most irritating thing in the whole movie, and when your villains are a bunch of misogynistic rapist assholes, that's saying a lot.
Right? Yeah.
And the idea that Chris is somehow in the right by re-traumatizing and triggering a
having her go out in front of this guy that raped her.
And that somehow that's the right course of action, and that somehow Chris deserves an apology
Right.
for putting her in that position. Like, that was really messed up.
Yeah. Well, and the other girl apologizes to her too, because like, I'm sorry I drag my boyfriend all on sometimes, but I'd rather just be the four of us, of sisterhood, and Well, and my whole thing is just like, at least with the other two, you just had one or maybe two killers, and that was the thing.
Yeah, it's
and
the
then it was
whole
just
fraternity.
like, it's a slasher, for God's sake.
So, sorry. So yes, I liked. I wished that had been more the focal point. The actress who played Riley, I felt
She was fine. Yeah.
yeah, doing the best she could with what she was
really,
given.
most of them were doing.
Really,
the
they
best
were all
could.
doing the best they could with what they were given.
Yeah. It just,
And I wish that had been the focus, like more of the humanity of what she had been through,
right.
rather than like, again, writing to the absolute lowest common denominator,
Yeah.
which just made it really exploitative and offensive. But sorry, my phone is making noises.
You and your silly
Stop that.
phone.
Sorry. So yes, that was one thing I liked, and then what was the other one? There was actually more than one. Because it came up towards the end. Oh, gosh.
Oh, we could talk about the end in a minute.
Basically, I wish... Yeah, I mean, basically it goes in the lines of, I wish this movie was a smarter film and better written than what it was.
Yeah.
Because there were some interesting ideas that, again, if you had streamlined them into something smarter,
or not called it Black Christmas.
could it, and not called it Black Christmas, could have made it a fairly watchable, low budget horror movie. Shall we talk about the ending?
We shall. Before we get to that, I just want to also say, Hollywood, stop making shit like this.
Yes.
It's just, especially the goddamn, like, I don't know, I don't want to be one of those guys who says, but like, I'm frankly so sick and tired of constantly having every single guy in the movie be a fucking asshole or a creep or a rapist or whatever the fuck. It's like, that's insulting to me. Because, I like, and I'm not going to be like one of those guys like, I'm a nice guy, because that's fine. But like, I think, we've been married for 2 years and we've been dating for what, almost 20,
Gosh.
So it's like, I think, my wife would probably say that I'm a decent guy,
I'll let you know.
And we know tons of other guys that are decent guys, and so.
I think part of, that does bring me to my other point, is the fact that there are men who think this way, that these characters think. And it's not like a cartoon, like they really think this way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's trying, because it's supposed to be a horror film,
right?
Theoretically. I wish that mentality, that very hateful, genuinely misogynistic mentality, had been presented in an intelligent way, in a horrific way, rather than in just this really stupid, like, clipped from the headline sort of
wink,
dialogue,
wink, nudge,
right?
nudge,
Lots of wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, it's like they're trying to be satirical, but they're not smart enough to be satirical.
Like with the security guard saying, well, boys will be,
God, it's like they think they're being. It's like one of those things where it's like, you are not as funny as you think you are. Like watching, like, to bring in the college illusion, like, just watching your drunk ass friend like acting like they're a stand-up comedian, and like they the drunk friend think they're being super funny, and everyone around is like, no,
just get off the stage,
stop.
please. Yeah, I know.
Stop.
Yeah. Well, I would also say too. Like. Yeah, I would also say too, in line with your about the rape survivor and all that, and how her friend pushes up there. Not only do they get up there and live sing it, her friend has it filmed and uploaded,
and to
like YouTube or whatever.
So it's anyone should be making apologies. It was her.
Yeah.
God.
But it was just like her character was treated almost like she could do no wrong, and it was characters like that are awful in any fucking film. Because if you cannot identify with these characters, guess what? You're not going to give a shit about them. And that's horror movies are very bad about that. Not all horror movies. Some of them, when they're done well. But like I should, whether it's a slasher or whether it's a ghost story or whatever, I should at least care about somebody in the fucking story.
Yeah.
I barely cared about the main character to a point, but even that was a stretch. I cared about the cat. That was about it. I'm like, just don't let him kill the fucking cat, and we'll be fine. And credit to them. That's what's great about it. They didn't kill the cat. Thank you for not killing the cat. Because that's something that drives me nuts in movies, how they always have to kill the cat or the dog or whatever animal it happens to be. Because it just feels like a trope now, and it's just like, okay, I get it. Serial killers do that, and I understand that, but like, you don't necessarily have to always do that. So, to wrap up, let's talk about the ending.
Oh, God. Okay. The gelato's back.
Yeah, just don't drip it on me.
Oh, am I? Sorry.
I think you're dripping it on me. Anyway.
Just condensation.
I'm well aware. But, so anyway, the main girl gets kidnapped by the fraternity. They're brainwashing the one nice, nerdy guy. And like I said, with the whole guy getting the headache, and he said he felt like he had a migraine, it's like the true toxicity of his masculinity is patriarchy, is
Your
taking
alpha
over.
Male.
Your alpha male. That's what yeah.
God, that was so silly.
Christ.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Was it's like, movie? Are you a horror film or are you like a horror?
Legitimate comedy? I'm laughing my ass off.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And anyway, so then like we get to a point. The one girl, the one sorority sister, she's with them. She's bowing to them, but then they kill her anyway. And like, but then they come in, and then like the other, the Chris character comes on with these other sorority girls that had also been attacked, and then she's like, you probably saw it in the trailer because the trailer basically gave away what was going to happen. It's like you messed with the wrong sisters, and I got this bow and arrow, and then they basically just all turn into Wonder Woman or Amazons. You're dripping on me again. Stop dripping on me.
Sorry.
Must you? Anyway, but they all turn into like superior strength women.
Oh, no, hang on. Before you forgot, the big reveal of this like cult of manhood is done by Carrie Elways, clearly wishing he were anywhere else. Thinking
as you wish.
Yeah, thinking about that paycheck because that's the only thing keeping him going. And as he's monologuing about the glory of man and how it's going to put woman in her place, God damn it. All of the frat brothers are in their dorky ass hoods with their fraternity paddles. And let's be real, anytime you see a fraternity paddle, the first thing you think is Animal House and Kevin Bacon saying, "Please, sir, may I have another?" So already it's like, this is not intimidating. And then, like, as Carrie Elways is talking, they're doing like this like baton twirling, like rhythm marching band crap with the fraternity paddles, like
we've been practicing this shit all week.
It's like manhood, masculinity, like it's so stupid. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. And it would be one thing like if this were a comedy and the filmmakers were smart enough to like play this up.
Play it up,
but they are not. They are playing this dead straight, and it is so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then we get into our epic fight scene.
Yeah, there's like fire and
Yay.
there's bow and arrows and knives and just like superior woman's strength coming.
Oh my
Because
God.
now, because she breaks the statue and
Yeah. Oh yeah. This
the weird
this
bleeding
poor
black,
actor- yeah.
black blood statue.
They never really. I mean, they touched on the fact that the founder of the college was like into the occult arts,
Right,
and
yeah.
also just a terrible person.
Yeah.
But they never explained like
Yeah.
it contains magic, and that
Well, and like
that's
the one guy that
explanation.
comes in with the mask, he doesn't even get unmasked. The one guy that
yeah.
comes, snaps the girl's neck. We never see his face. Who the fuck was he? Who was he? Because they were all bowing to him like he was the king and shit. Like, who is he? You explain who no one is. Who the fuck is this guy?
Like, is it supposed to be like the ghost of the founder
I
come
don't
back?
fucking know.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, but like
and-
epic stupid fight.
Yeah, like
and-
like our heroine who can't weigh more than like 110 pounds picks up a marble statue bust and like bench presses it over her head. And it's all, we will never be broken! Throws it down and breaks it.
And then in the midst of-
because this is the kind of stupid movie we are. It's got to be played that literal.
And then she apologizes to Chris. You're right, I should have been a fighter this whole time. And then she's like, in the midst of the fire going on and trying to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to be the one to tell you I told you so. But I told you so. It's like, why couldn't you just die?
Why did this
Why
need
does
to?
this character
Yeah.
need to be here?
Oh yeah, and then they lock all. I mean, not the nice nerd because
Yeah.
he
gets out of his
he
brainwash,
breaks the brainwashing, and maybe there were other frat brothers breaking their brainwashing as well once the marble statue was broken. We don't know because they all wind up getting locked inside a burning building,
And burned to death. As they all
And
just
that
sit
is
there
the-
and watch them burn.
and that is the end of the film.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think we're meant to assume that they were all just bad.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, at least that was funny.
Yeah.
Like, looking back, it's like, okay, at least that part was funny and
Yeah.
not straight up offensive, like the way you treated a rape survivor for like
Yeah.
3/4 of the film.
Yeah. It just, what the fuck was this movie? I've seen some bad
It
films
barely
in my
qualifies.
day. Yeah, I've seen some bad films in my day, but this is definitely up there. You know, like in terms of I've seen movies that were boring, where it's like, oh, the movie's just boring. Is it over? You know, I've seen movies that weren't clever, like just didn't have a good story, or just like, or they were just too much like another film. This one managed to just insult my intelligence the entire way through, and that might actually be worse than a boring movie or a movie that is just a rip off of another one, or just doesn't try it, or doesn't have any likable characters, whatever the case. But man, this is just wow. I mean, I'm glad for the review that we could laugh about it now, for your viewing pleasure. But wow, man. It was definitely hard to find anything great about this film.
Yeah, this is a film that earns its horrible reputation.
Yeah. So
And
I'd
so-
recommend not watching it unless you just really want to hate yourself in the morning.
Thumbs
Double thumbs down.
down. All the thumbs down. I'd
Cool.
be doing 2 thumbs down, but I'm
You
holding
have
gelato, and that
Yeah.
takes precedent.
And you've earned that gelato for
I
watching
earned
this
this
horrible
gelato for
fucking
having to
film.
watch this.
Alright, so we'll wrap this up, guys. So obviously, like I said, we'll keep chiming in and doing more films, and maybe we'll look up some more films that are bad and watch those and
Yeah.
tell you what's good about them.
And feel free to recommend something.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, leave a comment below and stuff. Subscribe if you like seeing this. We have 2 so far on this channel. Like I said, we just started doing this channel again, so
Yeah.
it'll build. Like I said, we don't know how much we'll update this channel because we always do the other one every Saturday. So
Yes.
we'll just try to do it when we can, or sometimes I might do something by myself, sometimes Anna might do something by herself, for vlogging or something like that. It just depends, what we want to do or what we feel like doing. So, anyway, cool. We'll just do this on our laptop camera. I got this laptop for Christmas. So, just figured rather if we have a video camera, we just figured just for this type of stuff setting, it would be easy to just sit here and do this. So, anyway, thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you.
And subscribe, like and subscribe, and we'll be back again soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.